సరే. తప్పు చేసి వస్తున్నా. అన్ని ఆఫ్ చేసిన, ఇది ఆన్ చేస్తే కదా అని సరే ఆన్ చేస్తాను.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, sir.
Audible.
We are waiting for external speaker. Once the speaker joins, we'll start the session immediately.
ఎవరు లేరాడ.
Sir, good morning, sir.
మార్నింగ్ జాయిన్ అయినాడు రాజు.
సార్ అయ్యారు సార్. ఇప్పుడు జస్ట్ నాతో కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడానికి try.
నెట్ పూర్గా ఉన్నట్టుంది.
Sir, good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir. Sir, Tony, sir.
I'm also trying to start my video, sir, but it is not showing some access in my laptop.
Okay, okay.
Right, okay, sir, no problem. Can I continue, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, meet our principal, Dr. V. Sridhar, sir.
సార్ గుడ్
Will
మార్నింగ్.
anyone need to add or can I start, sir?
Sir, 1 second, sir. I'll record the session, sir. Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, meet our principal, Dr. V. Sridhar, sir.
హలో
Sir Sridhar, sir, very good morning, sir. How are you?
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ డాక్టర్ టోనీ సార్.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Sir,
I'm fine,
Basha
sir.
Mohiddin.
Thank you.
Sir, Basha Mohiddin, sir, our NAC convener, sir. Balaji College of Pharmacy.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I request Basha Mohiddin, sir, to introduce our today's speaker to all the audience.
Distinguished speaker of today's session, Professor Tony, the principal of the institution, Balaji College of Pharmacy, Professor Sridhar, learned faculty members who have joined as participants. I extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the NAC cell of Balaji College of Pharmacy. It would be customary to introduce today's speaker, Professor Tony. Currently, he is the professor and head of Department of Pharmacology, Chalapati Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Autonomous Institution in Guntur, Chalapati Nagar, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. He is a very learned man. From his profile, I come to know that he had published 46 publications, papers in national and international peer-reviewed journals. Total citations 369, with H index as 6 and I-10 index as 4. Professor Tony joined the Jalapati Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh in the year 2013 and has been serving there since then. And interestingly, Professor Tony had introduced many teaching initiatives to strengthen the teaching learning process. And very interesting to note, things like crossword puzzles, online quizzes, online exams, word search, etc. Professor Tony is a member of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, IPA, then LASA, Laboratory Animal Scientists Association. And he has one Young Research Fellowship, SAS. And what is pertinent here is Professor Tony has been the director of IQSA of the institution, Telepathy Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and he had been coordinating the works of NAC, ISO, and he's also in charge of Animal House Facility, and he is a nominee on the board of CCSEA of the Government of India. With that brief introduction of Professor Tony, I now request him to start the session. I hope the session on OBE would be of benefit to all those who are attending online. And Professor Tony, from his profile, is a very good versatile faculty professor, and he would be giving us a lot of information. We intend to get benefited from his presentation. The session is going to be very interesting on OBE. I thank the management principal of the college for giving me this opportunity. Now I extend a warm welcome to Professor Tony to start his session. Professor Tony.
Thank you very much, Basha Mohiddin sir, for giving a brief introduction about me. And I thank the principal of Balaji College of Pharmacy and the management, also the faculty of the institution, Rajavardhan Garu, for inviting me to give a session on today regarding the outcome-based education. Recently, the importance has been increasing a lot regarding outcome-based education, because in earlier traditional methods, all the teachers use it to give a very good potent teaching, but slowly the education scenario is going to be in a multidisciplinary way. Slowly the traditional method teaching is degrading gradually, where the teachers are having a lack of awareness regarding how to convey the education in an outcome way. So this is the problem actually all are facing nowadays. In order to assess it in a good way, we need to focus on many aspects where the outcome-based learning is being conveyed. We need to highlight what are the aspects are there to give a very excellent outcome-based education, how the education scenario is being analyzed, how the Bloom's taxonomy is useful to apply in the education scenario, what are the outcomes actually, how we can design the outcomes in the sense of course and the sense of program. These are all the many things we need to learn each and every day. This is not a tough for each and every college. Of course, it is very easy for all the colleges, even in the case of Balaji College of Pharmacy also. Definitely, I have a good faith. If you start practicing the outcome-based education, if you start digesting the concepts which are there in the outcome-based education, and I swear it is very easy for you to follow all the things, to give some assessment regarding the students, and to gain more attainments in a very good grade scale. This is what I want to convey you as my best wishes from the side of our institution as well as from the side of education center. So most of the people, they'll highlight about the national education policy and all the things. Whatever the policy will come, whatever the policy will be going to come after, even after 10 years also, each and every policy will be rotating to provide a good education to the students as well as a good research which meets the standards of the current research, current scenario. So this is what I want to give as a brief before starting my session. And let me allow to share the PPT. Right, is it visible, Rajvardhan Garu?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, very good morning once again to all of you and myself, Professor Ishwar Tony. And I'm going to give you a session on outcome-based education today. So as I mentioned in the previous words, the outcome-based education is one where we need to have an idea regarding the application of the education, whatever we learn. So it is not about giving the content to the students. It is about assessing the content from the students. It is also about how the students can able to apply their knowledge in the real world scenario. This is what a real outcome-based education is. If we see a brief definition, actually, outcomes are clear learning results that learners have to demonstrate at the end of a significant learning experiences. So this is a real thing, what we like to know. So these are the outcomes which we call them as a clear learning results, because it is not the duty of the teacher to pour the entire syllabus onto the minds of the students in one semester or in 1 year in case of Farm D and B Farm or M Farm. It is that we need to assess the clear learning results, whether the learners have obtained the outcome whatever we designed or not. Can be the student be able to demonstrate the things whatever he learned at the end of the semester or year. This is what we need to experience regarding the outcomes, and we need to assess their students' mentality regarding the learning outcomes. So you can see one sentence, an educational method that focuses on what students can actually do after they thought. So here I want to share you a small story in order to convey the outcome-based education. A problem was arised, a technical problem was arised in a train where the train is stopped at one particular small station. It is not an actual station where the train need to be stopped, because it is somewhat super fast express where the train is to be stopped in a bigger station. But unfortunately, the train was stopped at a small station. All the people who are in the train are claiming that why it is stopped in a small station. As it is January, a very cold climate is there, and the time is early morning, 2:30 a.m. So some of the people are coming onto the platform in order to identify what might be the problem is. Out of them, the some people, as it is a very coolest time, the some people are wanting for a tea or a coffee. Even it is a small platform, a salesman who is there, a tea maker, is giving some tea or coffee to the people who are ready to opt it. But he did not expect such a crowd on the day itself, because each and every day only a few trains will stop, that to a small passengers over there. But suddenly he exclaimed, a superfast express due to some technical issues was stopped over there. High people gathered because it is a coolest climate. Even the tea maker can't able to serve each and everybody, because you don't have enough amount of tea at the particular time, right? So what he exclaimed, he mentioned, you just wait for some time. I'll make you the tea to be ready. With the same amount, I'll give you the tea with the same amount of sugar, with the same amount of decoction, or with the same amount of milk. My friend is coming by taking some other amount of milk. You just wait for 5 to 10 minutes. He is requesting all the passengers who are over there at the particular time. Out of the public, two people who done their masters in business administration, MBA, they are talking that why the person, the tea maker, is claiming the votes that he will give the tea for 5 rupees only, with the same amount of milk and with the same amount of sugar, with all the ingredients, whatever he is used to sell on every day. Here we need to observe one thing, that the people who are over there, who are talking this discussion, who are MBA graduates, even though they are educated, they are talking about the supply and demand ratio, which decreases the society, which downgrades the society, which downgrades the relationship between the passengers as well as the tea maker. So here we need to understand, even though he might not be educated, the tea maker is a real graduate. Why I explained this story? Because we need to have an awareness to make the society wiser. This is a real application. Even though you are educated, even though you are an MBA graduate, the words you are talking is regarding the supply and demand ratio. Because the people, the public who are gathered over there on the platform, they don't have any option. Definitely they'll take the tea from the tea maker. Even though he set a price of 20 to 25 rupees, there is no option for them, they need to take the tea. But the person who is a tea maker, even though he is not an educated, even though he is not an MBA graduate, see how he is respecting the values of the society. This is what we need to apply in the society. This is what an outcome we are actually expecting from the society. Without these outcomes, without these actual benefits, without knowing how to apply the real education in the society, you can't be able to live for a longer time. A good values and a good ethics makes the society rich and wiser. That's why I mentioned a small story before actually going into the topic. So this is an educational method, outcome-based educations, outcome-based education. It is a process of getting education, process of learning the content, which focus on what students can actually do after they thought. If they go outside and if they are talking about the supply and demanding ratio, decreasing the society, that is not a right way. That is not a right path how the students are being taught. That is not the right way of teaching. If they are behaving like that, definitely it is a fault of a teacher who did not taught them a real world scenario, a real world education, a real world outcome based education. Wait. Right, sir. Is it visible?
Sir, it is visible, sir.
Am I audible, sir? Is everything is okay?
Yes, sir. Everything is okay, sir.
I think I'm not getting your words, sir. If
Sir,
everything
your
goes well, I'll continue.
sir, everything is
Anybody can reply, please.
sir. It is audible, sir.
Yes, I can able to see you, Rajavardhan, sir. Is it okay? Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah, that is what all of we are talking about the outcome-based scenario. So from the story, what I conveyed, whatever the education you may possess, it is a B Farm or it is a Farm D or it is an M Farm,
Yes, sir.
even though it is a BEd, even though it is a BSc basic degree, we need to apply an education based on a very good outcomes. That is what a teacher as well as a student, the relation should be. A teacher is teaching to a student to enhance the society, not on their personal growth, because the teachers are giving education to the students and the students are learning this education to apply it in the society, which makes the society wiser and better. This is what we need to understand. So here, in case of outcome-based education, we all observe our knowledge is increasing. Very good. And the second one is we are developing our skills. The positive attitude is influencing. Inclusive values are being taught to the students. Ability to decide or judge. This is a wiser thing. We need to understand all the particular 5 points while we are explaining about outcome-based education. So this is not a single part where a teacher can do. This is a part by mutual understanding from the side of teachers as well as from the side of students. So a teacher cannot alone will get or will achieve outcome-based education because as a teachers, they can play their own part and the real scenario, the other things, the other 50% need to be performed by the student only. So the teacher, they'll give knowledge, they'll try to develop skills, they'll positively influence the attitudes of the students, they'll try to give a very good values as well as ethics, and they'll make the student to get an ability to decide and judge whatever they want to do. So after filling the pot continuously, this pot need to be utilized by the society. That's why our brains are like a pots, and this pot is filled continuously by the teacher with a great number of ingredients. And we need to apply our entire knowledge into the society in a very good way. So now this become a challenge for the teachers to filling of a pot. Leave about how the students utilize it in the society. The main role of the teachers is to filling this particular pot, igniting fire in the minds of the students, developing a great skills, changing their attitudes. There are so many concepts are there in order to enhance the students. Because at the time of plant only you can change its growth. If you don't obey this principle, obviously, after becoming a tree, the student, he can do as he likes. So that's why during the growth only, during the early stages only, you need to inculcate all the ethics as well as good morals with the very good principles where they can go outside and they can able to live in an effective manner. You just see there are so many issues in the higher education, what we are identifying. Accountability, even though we are teaching them the syllabus, which is a very old. Of course, in 2016, the PCI has framed a new syllabus because our colleges are established in different areas. Some of the colleges are there in rural areas, some of the colleges are there in urban areas, some of the colleges are there in semi-urban areas, semi-rural areas. So many institutions, maybe they are pharmacy or engineering or whatever it is. So many institutions are established in different areas where they are following the PCI curriculum as per our knowledge. We are following the same curriculum at any point of India. But what about the other issues? What about the technical things? What about the gaps we are identifying? See, the students who are residing or the colleges which are there in a very, very rural areas and a poor areas. Of course, the colleges are established in order to enhance the students who are in rural areas also. But what about the facilities? What about the curriculum conveying? Are we conveying the syllabus to the students in an effective manner? Because these students in the rural areas, they studied in the government schools, may or may not, the facilities are enhanced in the government schools. Suddenly, they came into an institution where they have a very lack of facilities, or if the facilities are also good, if the high information and communication technology is being provided, can the student be able to use all the systems as well as all the softwares? The answer is no. Why? Because they don't have enough knowledge to use systems as well as softwares from their schooling, because they belong to the rural areas. So that's why this is the gap we can identify among the students. All the students might not learn in the same manner. All the students cannot understand the concepts what you teach in the same manners, because the students in our institutions belongs from various patterns, various areas. So this is what we need to identify the gaps, because it is not our duty to provide the outcome based educations to the students who learn fastly. We need to address the students who are very low, who belong to very low socioeconomic status, who have very gap in identifying the fast learning content, who have very gap in identifying the utilization or the usage of information and communication tools. So we need to point out each and every student's mentality, and we need to address them. So as a whole, we need to implement the outcome-based education to a class, not to the students who are very fast. So this is what we need to fulfill the requirements of curriculum in case of accountability. Also, you need to maintain academic standards. So many programs need to be standardized. That's why let us take communication skills. I'm highlighting the same problem once again to the people who are residing in the rural areas. If the students are from rural areas, they don't have a very good communication skills. They can't able to communicate it in a very good manner. You do educate the students, you do teach the curriculum to the students, you do pour all the entire syllabus in their minds, you make them pass all the 8 semesters of B Pharmacy. And what if the student go outside to face an interview? Even though communication skills are there in 1 semester of B Pharmacy, we need to focus on the communication skills till 8 semesters. That's why assessing a student's knowledge, improving the student's mind by giving some assignments, by asking them to do some research, by asking them to convey some of the seminars, by asking them to participate in a real world conferences. These are the many issues what higher educational institutions are, as well as what a student is identifying in a current scenario. So this is what you need to underline the gaps. As an institution, you need to focus on what are the gaps your institution can be identifying. You take a paper and note, these are all the problems facing from the side of teachers. These are all the problems facing by the students. How can we fulfill the gap? It is not mandatory to fulfill all the gaps, to do 100% justification to the problems in 1 semester itself. It will take time. Slowly you can rectify each and every problem. So by addressing some of the issues only, the institutional appearance can be enhanced. The institutional performance can be taken into a good level. And that's why if you enhance the communication skills, if you enhance the gaps, if you make the student to understand the real world situations, the students can be placed in a very reputed companies where the unemployability will be very less. The percentage of unemployability will be very less in our institutions, as well as placement percentage will be increased year by year. After identifying the gaps and after trying to fill the gaps with the respective content. This is what I want to convey you. As well as research and innovation. You need to make the students to learn what is the research that is happening. Most of the colleges are busy in completing their syllabus, in teaching the classes, but not focusing on the research. Because the intention of teaching is to link up or mutual understanding between the content as well as the practical. What you teach, you will expect the same in case of practical also. Because as a pharmacy buddies, as a pharma graduates, what they will do is they'll apply all the content, whatever they have learned in the institutions, in future in the industries, in order to identify something, in order to make some formulation, in order to assess the compatibilities between the two formulations, in order to add binders, in order to add good excipients, in order to make one tablet to be diluted in an effective time, in order to get a very positive, potent mechanism of action for a drug molecules. All the things what I have highlighted is a part of research. And this research is a link. The basic of this research is the content what you teach. So don't try to teach the entire syllabus in a theoretical and in a dry manner. Meanwhile, you focus where this particular content can be utilized. You need to address it. You need to focus the entire content in a research pathway. If you are teaching a class, if you are taking a class, one topic, you need to highlight the importance of the topic, why they are going to be learned. What is the need of giving this topic today? Why I am taking this class today? What you will know after learning this topic? How you can be able to apply this topic in future? This is what you need to give the importance. You need to maintain a relation to the topic with the student. If the student identifies the relation, definitely he will be in love with the subject. For example, if you are going in a train with a very high rush, even though you did not have any reservation, you are traveling in a general bogie, general compartment. If somebody came in the same compartment, you were in a sitting position. If somebody you identified who is a friend of your father, then what you will do? You will adjust some of the seats in front of you and ask him to sit over there. This is the first case. In the second case, if your colleague is there, you will adjust your place and you will ask him or her to sit over there. This is the second case. Coming to the third case, if it is a principal of your institution who will be there in the same compartment, what you will do? You will give your place and you will ask your principal to sit over there. In all three different categories, in all three different cases, you identified a person who have some relation with you. So this is what I am explaining continuously to all of our teaching fraternity. Make some relation to the subject by giving importance. You explain the significance of the topic to the students. Then only it is very easy for the students to fall in love with the content. If they fall in love with the content, it is very easy for them to understand. It is very easy for them to replicate. They'll replicate the subject. They'll think about the subject continuously. They will develop their own thoughts. They will relate the content or the subject to the real world situation. This is how we can achieve the outcome based education. So you need to give a support in teaching and learning also by enhancing the facilities of information and communication technology. And recently, these high number of accreditations also plays a major role. Because if some of your faculty like Rajavardhan sir or Rudra sir or Mohiddin sir, whoever, they'll come outside and they'll explain to the society that our college is good. We have n number of facilities. Our biology college is excellent. Because the people won't believe their words because you are from that family only. If some people from external colleges, if they'll come your college and visit based on some documentations, if they say it publicly, now the society is ready to believe what they say. Right? So this is what we see the scenario nowadays. The people who belong to your college, if they say anything, they are saying that as they belong to the same family, they are highlighting their institution. But if the people from outside, if they visit and if they say a very good feedback about your college, definitely the society will come to swear the entire things. The society will believe that your college is very good. This is what happenings that are there in the site of accreditations. They are external people. They'll give some manuals. They'll give some parameters in order to assess your performance of the institution. If you meet all the criteria as well as all the points regarding their grades, definitely they'll give you some rank. Based on the ranks, the external bodies, because if you see NAC, it is an UGC body. If you see NBA, it is an AICT body. Different regulatory bodies are being established in order to make some parameters where our institutions are being assessed. So this is the continuous. And what I have explained till now, if you maintain all the teaching, learning by using ICTs, research and innovations, thinking about enhancement of the placements, maintaining a good communication skills in the institutions, making the students to learn a good principles, making the students to be very obedient. If you make all the entire scenarios, if you take all these particular aspects on a single line, it is not a matter to get accredited. That is a very simple matter, because you don't focus on any accreditation. You try to maintain your institution with all aspects of outcome based education. You identify what are the problems or what are the gaps we have, or what are the facilities we don't have where the other institutions have. Just write down on a paper. You just rectify it one by one. Automatically accreditation follows you. There is no need of directly going for accreditation and trying to address all the issues, trying to rectify all the issues on one particular day or one particular month in one particular semester. Try to improve day by day, slowly, automatically. Each and every accreditation will follow you. It is very easy to get accreditation if you maintain all these particular things. Coming to the next point, outcome-based education, we can say it is a holistic approach to convert a student into a great person. So this is what we are always trying to focus from the side of outcome-based education. So, but this, how can we achieve the outcome-based education? How can we believe that we are going in a right path? This is how the desired outcomes and the definite goals have been come into existence. So as I mentioned, it is a holistic approach, excellent approach to make a student into a great person. But how we need to make a student into a great person? You have to write a predefined outcomes and goals. As I mentioned in my previous slide, as I discussed in my previous words, you need to maintain a relation between the subject as well as the student. You need to highlight the significance of the content to the students. Definitely, these are the outcomes. Because students, they don't know why the teacher is teaching. The students are just thinking that somebody might come and teach. They'll put some examinations. We need to write the examinations. Whatever we learned, we'll get some score. The degree will be awarded. We'll be go outside. We'll be going outside. This is what a student knowledge up to. But there is a difference between student and teacher, right? The teacher's perception is somewhat separate. The teacher have to assess the 4 years life, 8 semesters life of a student. So what there is a need, what we need to fill into the minds of the students. A teacher have a very good knowledge on each and every student, an entire class. What might be that student is lacking of. So that's why before teaching a subject, let us have some desired outcomes. As per the NAC language or as per the other regulatory bodies language, a subject will be calling as a course. Okay. Earlier, we are in a thought that B pharmacy is a course, M pharmacy is a course, PharmD is a course. No, not like that. They are not courses. Now they will be calling as programs. Then what are the courses? If you see first year of B pharmacy, BP 101T, the subject code, Human Anatomy and Physiology 1 is called as a course. That is a course. So the course is a part of B pharmacy program. So B pharmacy is a program and BP 101T is a course. Practical is also a course. BP 107P is also a course, right? So before teaching the course to the students, let you have some course outcomes. What the student will get to know after learning this course. After completing of a B pharmacy, what the student might learn are program outcomes. At the end of the program, after completing the 8 semester courses, finally what the student will get is program outcomes. Program outcomes are separate, course outcomes are separate. Course outcomes are for each and every course. For anatomy, they have some courses. Course outcomes. For pharmaceutics 1, they have some course outcomes. So as per NBA, what they are saying, because they are the people who set all the particular assessment in depth regarding the calculations, assessments, attainments, all these things. So what they said is only 6 points can be enough in order to give an outcomes for a course. For pharmaceutics 1, if we take 103T, I think for pharmaceutics 1 in B pharmacy, course outcome 1, course outcome 2, course outcome 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. You can divide 6 points based on the syllabus what they have given in case of pharmaceutics 1. You divide the entire syllabus, you summarize the entire syllabus into 6 different points. This is how the assessment or the outcome based knowledge is going to be start slowly. This is the foundation. You need to assess the entire syllabus in the course in 6 different points. I'll explain them in detail in my next slides. So as a whole, what I want to convey is the OBE outcome based education is a student centric. It is very helpful to assess the student better in what point the student is lacking of. And we can review as well as revise the curriculum. We can add some more points where the gap might be filled. As I have mentioned, like entrepreneurship skills, communication skills, some of the points are there. By using this particular outcome-based education, we can engage the students. We can track the students by putting some slip tests or some assignments or asking them to give seminars. If we maintain the overall things indirectly, we can meet the accreditation requirements because they are not the points they obtained where a high grade institution is already established by based on the high grade institution. They can able to set the parameters. That is not the right scenario. Okay. So where a good education is being held, where a good educational institution is there established, we need to maintain at least some of the points where a student get 360-degree dimension knowledge and awareness regarding the real world education. So that's why they have set some of the parameters where all the educations can able to do. They identified some parameters and they have written the same parameters in their manuals. And they're asking you before going to accreditation, try to answer to these some of the points, try to establish these some of the committees or cells in your institution where a student can get a real world education, a teacher can get a good training in teaching, a very good research is being potentiated in all the aspects. They are asking a brief. So if you maintain each and everything, not on the high grade level, if you maintain at a basic level also, definitely you will get accreditation. So if you maintain all these things in a minimal way also, definitely it directly means we met accreditation requirements. So this is a basic premise of OBE. What is this basic premise? All students can learn and succeed, but not all in the same way or same time. This is what I highlighted. You just identify point A. All students can learn and succeed, but not all students in the same way or in the same time. It may take time for some of the students to learn the concept as easy as possible, but some of the student, based on their high focused concentration, they can able to learn if they read on the first time itself, if they listen to the class. Some of the students are very attentive and they can able to write directly exam after listening to the class itself. So that's why different categories of students, different category of learners are there in the class. Some may be kinesthetic learners, some may be visual learners, some may be a very good audible learners. Different category of learners are there in a class. So that's why they won't learn all in the same time or in the same way. We need to have a focused explanation regarding the concept in different dimensions to make the student aware of the knowledge or the concept what you are actually teaching. All right. Coming to the point B, we need to nurture and develop learning to learn skills. If you focus on one teaching methodology, if you don't have any other teaching methodology to entertain the student in a different aspect, only few percentage of students can able to have a focus upon your class. The others, they will try to listen your class, but unfortunately, they can't able to meet your standards. So that is the point we need to highlight. We need to try our teaching methodology in different aspects where learning skills can be improved. So we need to adapt to so many teaching methodologies also in order to have a very great exposure towards the students. So now, as I mentioned earlier, developing multidisciplinary links across learning areas. If you are teaching pharmaceutics, definitely at one point particular of time, one topic that is switchers are there, which may you can give some knowledge regarding the operational procedures, type of pharmacologies, I mean anatomy and physiology. So you can the different topics can contact you. You may be in contact with the different topics from different courses also while you are teaching the class. So that's why if a class is traveled in a multidisciplinary way, the student can able to get a very good depth knowledge. His wisdom is developed like anything. So this is what you need to focus. You need to teach in a multidisciplinary level where the student can relate the pharmacology with the sutics, where the student can relate nanotechnology with the herbal drug technology. Each and everything they can relate with each other. This is what. So you need to create an impact among. You need to create a mutual linkage between the subjects while you are teaching. So if you want to create the linkage between the subjects while you are teaching, the student will thought that they have an idea that the subject is separate, the sutics is separate. So I think you are aware that all these particular sutics, pharmacology, herbal drug technology, all they are a part of pharmacy, right? In order to make you to understand in an easy manner, they were divided into different topics. They were divided into different courses. All these particular courses comes under in a single umbrella, which is considered as a B Pharmacy program. Okay. So after nurturing the skills of the students, so first in point A, you can able to identify the flaws of your teaching methodology, demerits of your teaching methodology, identifying what are the different lackings in order to make the student to understand. So based on A, you can enhance the point A, lacking of point A by the help of point B, by enhancing or nurturing the skills. Next, in order to create a great relation, you can engage the class in a multidisciplinary way in the point of C. After performing the points A, B, C in a single class, you can make the student to assess. Okay, sorry, actually it is D, it was written as C. Okay, you can make the student to assess through various measuring tools. You can ask them questions. Okay, yes or no questions are there. Okay, this is the mechanism, isn't yes or no? And pause sentences are there. In case of definition, you can say the definition and just stop at the main word of the definition. Students will answer the particular thing. This is what you can make the students to interact by the sense of yes or no, or by the sense of one word answers, or by the sense of pause sentences. There are so many teaching methodologies are there to assess a student's knowledge. Okay. So here, as I'm mentioning, before teaching the class, before teaching the subject, before taking a course, the entire things were pre-designed, right? Because if a new semester is starting, your institution I mean the body, whatever is there, the higher authority, they will decide regarding the timetables, regarding which faculty should be there to taught a particular subject. So you will be allotted with a subject. The subject allotment is already allotted prior to the starting of the or commencement of the semester, right? So before the semester is starting, you were allotted with one particular subject. Subject means we are calling it as a course. So after allotted that particular subject, what you need to do as a teacher, you need to focus on the course outcomes. That's why I want to highlight you the difference between the course objectives as well as course outcomes. Now the scenario of all the NBA, NAC, autonomous and other UGCs, what they are saying is mainly focus on the outcomes, not on the simple objectives. Objectives are from the perception of teachers, because teachers, what they thought is, from the side of teachers, I want to give this content to the student. This is objective. What the teacher expects the students to know and be able to do at the end of the instruction. So this is the teacher expectation from his or her side, not from a student side, not behavioral in nature. Okay, it is not actually implementing. So this is some assessment. I mean, something we are constructing some steps in the ear. The terms called as a know, understand, these are the very dry terms what we might know in case of this particular course objectives. We just see the slide, the difference between the course objective and course learning outcome. In the course objective, the teacher expects students to know and be able to do at the end of the instruction. This is from the side of the teacher. He or she is expecting. So this is my thing. If I teach the subject, I think that I am giving this content to the student. So this is a course objective. And what is the outcome? The teacher is expecting something from the student after he or she taught the subject, right? What the students can able to do specifically. If I teach this, if the student can able to perform that, that is a course outcome. Teaching this is a course objective. Expecting something from the students regarding that particular point is a learning outcome. What the students can able to do at the end of the instruction. So that is stated in behavioral terms. Okay. So we have identified that course objective or some of the drier terms. Okay. It is not a behavioral. It is not a motivational thing. But if I or we get something from the side of the student, definitely. So see, I can explain the course objective as an input, and we are expecting course learning outcome as an output. In case of course learning outcome, the terms like identify, discuss, evaluate are coming. So you just see why learning outcomes means they provide direction in the planning of learning. If we always focus on the outcomes, I mean the expectations from the side of the students. If you do your better, if you teach in a very good potent content, automatically most of the content will be reflected in the student outcomes, right? So if you are not giving any knowledge to the students, how come you expect some outcomes from the students? So this is a mutual benefit. Earlier, what happens means in the older scenario, in the past scenario, the course objectives have high importance because the teacher will write, if I teach this particular concept, obviously the entire knowledge will be given to the students. So this is a one-sided task. Now, this is not a right way. The entire scenario was changed. You give, of course, it is your duty to give the content to the student. Don't give importance to the content what you are giving. You just focus on the outcomes. Because if you focus on the outcomes, indirectly you will try to give the best. Okay. Even though you don't give any priority, indirectly you don't have any option, definitely you will go with the priority. Because without giving anything to the student's mind, how can you expect the outcome from their mind, right? So that's why if you focus on the learning outcomes, definitely it provides a direction in the planning of learning, right? And it serves as a guidelines for content creation. It focuses learners' behavior on what to be changed and what to be improved. Right? If you give an example of this You just see objective. If I'm teaching you the learning outcomes, this session, today's session in online Zoom platform, what I expect is, what I give is, I want to provide participants with a good understanding of outcome-based education. This is what I think from my side. That's why it is called as an objective. And if I ask any of your faculty, any of your students to write some outcomes, to write some points after the end of my session, this is considered as an outcome. Participants must be able to write the learning outcomes of a given course or of given my session. After completion of my session, if you can able to write something regarding my lecture, these are outcomes. So if I see the points what you have written, if I corrected your papers, then I came to know to how much percent, to how much extent I succeeded in giving you some of the points into your minds. So this is a major difference between objectives and outcomes. So objectives is an input. What I give is mainly highlighted from my side. So I want to provide the participants who are present in the Zoom platform with a good understanding of outcome-based education. Okay. So I am providing here. I don't know whether you will be able to take the points what I provide or not. But if I focus on the outcome, the participants must be able to write the learning outcomes of a given course. So this is what I expect from your side, right? The teaching learning in outcome-based education. You just see the right one side. Teachers must create a positive learning environment. Students should feel that regardless of individual uniqueness, the teacher is always there to help. Because if you mainly focus on the students who are very fast, who are learning very fastly, who are listening to your words and who are doing the work immediately on spot, if you are focusing and entertaining those students only, the other students who are somewhat slow, they cannot expect anything from the side of teacher. Even they cannot ask you the help regarding their development personally as well as professionally in the academic areas. So that's why you must be in open-minded to each and every student. First of all, you must assess the student's knowledge before teaching the class. Thereby, you can assess based on that you can learn to how much level the student have knowledge on this particular topic, right? So each and every student of your class should feel that regardless of individual uniqueness, the teacher is always there to help. That's why partiality is no matter. We need to focus on this. We need to open our minds to each and every students patiently, right? Second point is teachers must help their students to understand what they have to learn. Okay, why they should learn. This is what I'm always striving to get into it. Before talking about your class, you need to highlight why we are teaching this. What is the importance of teaching this? Why should you people need to learn about this? What you do after you learning about this? All these particular points you need to highlight regarding the entire scenarios of outcome-based education. So separately, you need no need to highlight about outcome-based education, putting a heading on the board. So this is what I am giving for you because we need to maintain outcome-based education. That is not the point how you teach. If you maintain indirectly, if you're giving importance to the students, what you are teaching for, why you are teaching for, what is the concept you are teaching, how it will be applied in future while they are doing their jobs. So if you give all these points, this is only the outcome-based education, which highlights, enlightens indirectly. Teacher must use a variety of teaching methods. The most appropriate strategy should be used based on the facilities what you have. If you work it in a very high grade college, which have an entire panels or touch screens, but based on your family issues, based on your different health issues, or based on different transfers of your parents, if you migrated to other college where you don't have any ICT, you need to opt one strategy where the students can able to understand in a easy manner. Do not pressurize or do not force the management that I came from this college. I only know using of panels. I don't want to be in, use the chalk and talk method, the blackboard. This is not the right way. Okay, you need to have your mindset wherever you are there. You need to have your mindset to be acclimatized to that particular atmosphere. Because if they don't provide facilities, if it is not possible from the side of the management, You just have a particular strategy to make the students by having the facilities what you have. Okay. So this is the strategy you need to develop by having the facilities what you have in your hands. You need to provide students enough opportunities also. You need to create more number of assessment methods also. You need to make a small slip test in an easy way. You need to ask them questions. You need to make a role plays also. If time permits, you need to ask the students to play skits by taking the characters of the concept what you teach from the previous classes. So this is what how the students can explore to the new learnings. They'll correct the errors. If they have any doubt and they fail to ask you, they're not ready to ask in front of the public, in front of their co-students. Definitely, by all these new tasks, their answer will be justified. They'll correct their errors. They'll adjust their thinking attitude. So this OBE is creating such a great impact on creating a very good new environment from the side of teachers to give the content in a great possible strategy, and from the side of students to learn the entire content as easy as possible. So let us compare the different things from the side of traditional view as well as OBU view. Once upon a time, what we are talking is about instruction. This is like a traditional view. Now it is called as a learning. Once upon a time, it is called as a inputs and resources. Now it is calling as learning outcomes. Once upon a time, we are calling it as knowledge is transferred by the teacher. Now it is the knowledge already exists in the minds of the learners. We need to bring it out. We need to create one particular shape to their knowledge that is already existing in the students. And once the teachers and students are independent and in isolation, no contact is there for teachers and students. The teacher come to a class, give a dry content, and he or she will leave the class. They will learn the dry content. That's it. Now it is not like a dryness. The teacher and student work in teams. They will develop a new technology. They will develop a new strategy. They'll create one great opportunity, one new opportunity. By the both mutual understanding, they will enhance the skills. The teacher will choose one particular student who is very active and create one strategy to teach to the students at the level of the student, to the students who are somewhat slow learners. So here, a wise society is being built up by the teacher and the student interactions. Next, coming to the Bloom's taxonomy. So how can we frame the particular course outcomes in order to give outcome-based education? So Bloom's is one academician, a great person, an eminent person who had given a very simple formula in order to have this particular creation as well as a designing of course outcomes. This Bloom's taxonomy is not a great content. It is a very simple content where we can understand and we can work it out, practice in a simple way. This is a classification system used to define and distinguish different levels of human cognition. So mainly we are focusing on the thinking skills, the motor skills, the learning skills, the understanding skills. So as I highlighted in the previous point, if you give one concept to the students and ask them to perform a role play, it is their motor skill, right? Okay. If you ask a question and get answer from the side of student in a tricky way, it is like a cognitive thinking mechanism, right? So that's why this Bloom's taxonomy is most often used when designing educational training and learning processes. So in 1956 earlier, regarding this Bloom's taxonomy, some of the terms will be there: evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, comprehension, knowledge. These are the terms. Okay. From the lower side, the first one is knowledge. Second one is comprehension. Third one is application. Application is good. Analysis is also good. Synthesis is not the common term where all of us are finding in a very familiar way. And evaluation is also very good. Okay, but somewhat dissatisfaction is being held in case of 1956 Bloom's taxonomy terminology. That's why in 2001 we created, we revised the Bloom's taxonomy creations in 2001, highlighting 6 terms called as the first term is remember, second term is understand, third one is apply, fourth one is analyze, fifth one is evaluate, sixth one is create. On the right side, what you are seeing on the screen, this is what we people are following the Bloom's taxonomy from 2001. You need to focus on all these particular 6 concepts. Okay, you need to mug it up. I request all the faculty, if I ask you what are the 6 terms of Bloom's taxonomy, you should answer in an order. Okay, because all the terms, if you do not answer in an order, there is no use of applying the Bloom's taxonomy to our curriculum as well as to outcome-based education. Always the first one is remember, the second one is understand, third one is apply, fourth is analyze, fifth is evaluate, sixth one is create, right? So how can we use all these things in a Bloom's taxonomy, right? The first one, remember, we are recalling the facts and basic concepts, right? Not the in-depth concepts. And second point is understand, explain ideas or concepts. And the third one is apply, use information in a new situation. And fourth one is analyze, draw connections among ideas. And fifth one is evaluate, justify a stand or a decision. Sixth one is create, produce new or original work. And the highest pyramid peak is produce new work or original work. What is the first one? Remember. So let us link the first one and the last one. Remember means after identifying the basic concept, what you are reaching to the peak position, create. So after learning the basic concept by the help of all the middle things, finally you are creating a new thing. You are creating a new original work, not a copied work. You are producing a new work where no one is established till now. So this is what you are ready to create. So the first 3, remember, understand, apply, are the lower order thinkings. Analyze, evaluate, create are the higher order thinkings. So that's why I mentioned order of thinking with respect to Bloom's taxonomy. Till now, we learned what is Bloom's taxonomy, what are the 2001 new revised terminology verbs of Bloom's taxonomy. Those are the first one is remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. So these are the 6 terms what we learned till now. Let us categorize the 6 terms into 3 plus 3. The first 3 are lower order thinking, remember, understand, apply. And the second 3 are higher order thinking, analyze, evaluate, create. So in an order, if you take one semester as an example, I request all the faculty to focus on my words right now, very focus. If you take one semester, the one semester is divided into 2 parts, right? I mean, if you have 5 units in the semester, for the first sessional, we'll keep 2 units or 2.5 units. That is from our side. And in the second sessional, the other 2.5 units or 3, 4, 5 units, whatever we want. So likewise, if we dissect the first sessional as well as second sessional, if we dissect the semester in 2 parts, similarly, we'll dissect the Bloom's taxonomy in 2 parts. So the first sessional will have a knowledge regarding the lower order thinking. And the second sessional matches with the higher order thinking. The first sessional means the first 2.5 units. See, if you go to a movie, the movie is also divided into 2 halves, first half as well as second half. What is there in the first half? Introduction of characters, showing the financial status of the characters, showing the relation between characters, showing the job roles of the characters, like, right? All this is considered as an introductory part. And what is the second half? That might be a main concept of the story. Okay. which includes twists, turns, as well as finally conclusion in the sense of climax. Okay. So similarly, if we divide the first sessional, if we divide the course into two parts, the first sessional is lower order thinking and the second sessional is higher order thinking, right? So here, only remember, understand, apply will come to your starting units, because all the starting units are introduction. Up to 2 units, the introduction will be there. And third unit, fourth unit, fifth unit are higher order thinking. Okay. If the syllabus is not in that way, even though the 5 units are there, if the syllabus is not in that way, of course it is there, because you won't get introductory part in your fifth unit, right? Similarly, if it is not there in a such a way in any one particular course, you have a right to modulate it to place 3 or place 2 or place 1. No problem. Okay. What PCA expect is, let you give the content to the students. Let you give the course. Let you give the knowledge of this course to the students. But of course, not in the same order, because the PCA, they are not asking you to give this content in the same manner. As you are following the course outcomes, as you are identifying the point of outcome based education, you can make the small changes as like this, right? So I think you got some clarity regarding the Bloom's taxonomy and outcome based education, regarding the lower order thinking and higher order thinking. Okay. So let us focus on one particular concept. These are so many action verbs. If you see, these are so many action verbs. Okay. So what are these action verbs? You just see, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create are there. Okay. So we need to give the question paper for the exams by using Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. If the question paper is giving for the first sessional, as I discussed right now, if the question paper is regarding the first sessional, if it is first sessional question paper, you need to use the terms of Bloom's taxonomy, like remember, understand, apply. The terms which comes under this, recall the terminologies, recall the phases. You can recall the planes of the body in case of anatomy and physiology. You can recall the quadrants of the body. Name different cells that are present in connective tissue. Name different joints. Name the axial bones or appendicular bones. Find out the mechanism that is involved in clotting time. So you can use all these particular terms while giving questions for the first sessional. And coming to the second sessional, you can use analyze, evaluate, create, the terms which are coming under this. This is how you need to prepare the question paper. Okay. After writing a question, you need to give the number of course outcome to the particular question paper, right? See, this is an example what I have given you in case of preparing course outcomes. By using the Bloom's taxonomy, designing course outcomes using Bloom's taxonomy. So this is, for example, 103 means I think it is pharmaceutics 1 from first B pharmacy, first semester. These are some of the examples. Let you identify the first 3 points and second 3 points. What I have highlighted in the first 3 points by using Bloom's taxonomy. The first point, that is a basic point to make them know historical background and profession of pharmacy and the basics of pharmaceutical dosage forms. Can able to understand the importance of prescription and posology. That is the second point. So that is understand. Can able to solve pharmaceutical calculations and get the formulation of powders and liquid dosage forms. So this completes with the lower order thinking. And what is higher order thinking? 4, 5, 6 points. Can able to develop monophasic and biphasic liquid dosage forms. And student can explain the difficult concepts of suppositories and pharmaceutical incompatibilities. And finally, creation, the sixth Bloom's taxonomy term, creation, formulation. The students can able to formulate and evaluate semi-solid dosage forms. This is what a syllabus is divided into 6 perfect points by using Bloom's taxonomy. So you identify the entire essence of subject. This is the responsibility of a subject teacher to prepare the course outcomes of that particular subject, what he or she is teaching right now. So this designing of course outcomes, you can write your course outcomes by your own. Okay, the course outcomes may or may not match with other colleges, what they have prepared. You are excellent, you are excelled in your subject because you have taught it for several years, right? That's why you know the complete essence of the subject and you are ready to prepare the course outcomes for your subject. But what I'm giving you is just a basic thing, that is Bloom's taxonomy. I'm keeping Bloom's taxonomy in your hands, and it is your duty to prepare the course outcomes for a single subject. Okay, so just see the lower order thinking, and for 2.5 units or 2 units, you prepare this lower order thinking, and the remaining 3 points you write in a higher order thinking, right? So you can give a question paper, and the questions will match with either point 1 or point 2 or point 3, strictly based on the current content what we have learned till now, what I have explained. The first sessional questions matches with 1, 2, 3, right? That's perfect. And the second question paper, sessional paper questions matches with the course outcomes 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Excellent. So this is what we need to be ready with preparing the course outcomes. Coming to the program outcomes, of course, NBA had already given the program outcomes. They have helped our colleges, like so many colleges, like our colleges. No problem, we can prepare our own program outcomes. But of course, as NBA is already, that is a gem, as National Board of Accreditation, after meeting so many eminent persons, they have already prepared 11 program outcomes of entire B Pharmacy. Why should we write new points? That's why most of the institutions, even we are all following the same 11 program outcomes defined by the National Board of Accreditation, NBA. But course outcomes, your subject experts, your own staff need to prepare 6 course outcomes by seeing the Bloom's taxonomy, which maintains the lower order and higher order thinking, right? And these are all the program outcomes, 11 program outcomes given by the NBA. The first program outcome is pharmacy knowledge. The second program outcome is planning abilities. The third program outcome is problem analysis. And the fourth program outcome is modern tool usage. Fifth one is leadership skills. Sixth one is professional identity. And the seventh one is pharmaceutical ethics. And the eighth one is communication. Ninth one is a pharmacist and the society. And the 10th one is environment and sustainability. 11th one is lifelong learning. They have defined it in a very clear manner so that we are all following the same program outcomes designed by the National Board of Accreditation. But regarding course outcomes, you need to prepare by it. You need to give a question paper. Okay. You just see this particular slide. You just map the COs with POs. No mapping means blank, hyphen. If they map very low, 1. If they map with medium, 2, high, 3. Let me explain this slide as clear as possible. What we have done, we have prepared course outcomes. The program outcomes is already given by the NBA. Coming to the course outcomes, for example, CG103.1, the first course outcome, I think, which is a basic, which is from lower order learning. To make them know historical background and profession of pharmacy and basics of pharmaceutical dosage forms. For example, I am the teaching faculty of pharmaceutics and I prepared all the 6 course outcomes. So let us talk about the first course outcome. To make them know historical background and profession of pharmacy and basics of pharmaceutical dosage forms. This is the first course outcome. And this first course outcome, how come it matches with all 11 program outcomes? I mean, the first point, in case of pharmacy knowledge, okay, it will match the pharmacy profession. It will match 3 out of 3. Okay, very good. And regarding planning abilities, approximately only 1. So what I am doing is I am giving grades. Either it is 1 or no or 2 or 3. Okay. So for first point, I need to map the first point with all 11 POs. After that, I need to map the second point, second course outcome with all the 11 POs. I need to give the second course outcome for CO C103.2. For PO1, it is 1 or 2 or 3. For PO2, it is 1 or 2 or 3. Like that, we need to prepare a table and we need to map the entire COs with the given POs. That is the heading of this slide. We need to map the entire COs with the POs. After mapping, we can able to say that my course, the status of my course, the caliber of my course, the range of my course, the satta of my course is this. Out of 3-point scale, of course, the maximum is high. Out of 3-point scale, on an average of all the 6 course outcomes, when mapped with all 11 program outcomes, this is the caliber of my subject. Okay, if you get 2.45, that is the 100%, because it won't serve in the pharmacy profession to a complete extent, even though you are a subject expert. For example, this pharmaceutics one. For example, when I map all the 6 COs with all 11 POs, finally what I got is 2.42. I can say that my pharmaceutics in an entire pharmacy profession out of 3 will serve for 2.4. This is the basic what we need to design. Okay. Then how can we assess whether the student will able to reach up to the 100%, up to 2.42 or not? This is how all the attainments are traveling on. Okay. So I am not ready to explain all the content to you, because if I give all the information on this day itself, you are get so much confused. That's why I'm giving the basic touch in this session. So starting is by using the Bloom's taxonomy, we need to plan the COs. By using the COs, we need to map with the POs. After mapping the COs with the POs, what we get is our subject status, our course status out of 3, in what point it stands for. Let's say 2.4. So this 2.42 is considered as the maximum caliber of my subject in pharmacy. Entire 8 semesters, my pharmaceutics one is getting 2.42. This is my range. And I am a faculty who teaching pharmaceutics one. I have designed course outcomes and I got finally 2.42, let us say. Okay. So as an expert, I have given 2.42 out of entire pharmacy profession in all the 4 years, 8 semesters. So how can we able to assess whether the student reaches 2.42 or not? How can the student is successful in SS 2.42 or not? Thank you. Happy birthday. So based on this, we need to identify after examination, after putting some examination to the students, by assessing the students' marks, the question will match with some CO. Whether the student attempted that question, how come the student successful in writing the question more than 60%? How come the student got marks? If the question is for 10 marks, if the student got more than 60% in that question, I mean more than 6 marks, 6 or more than 6 marks, the student will be considered as he is familiar with that CO. This is how we are assessing. So what we are framing through CO-PO mapping, we are fixing some objectives. I already highlighted the difference between objective and outcome. The mapping is an objective. The mapping is an objective. Likewise, for all subjects, you need to map each and every subject, I mean each and every course, with the program outcome. That's why if you map all the courses with all the program outcomes, this is called as CO-PO matrix. You just see the first right side, first point, prepare all CO-PO matrix of all courses for all 4 years of study. So this is an objective like thing. We are giving our range to our subject. As an expert, we are giving, this is the 2.42, what I want to give for my subject out of 3. We'll see whether the student will get the 2.42 or not. How you can assess the student whether they will get 2.42 or not. This is the calculation what everybody is asking for. This is how we'll get their marks indirectly. We'll assess their caliber in the particular attainment of achieving 2.42 or not. Right? This is the basic structure, basic instruction, the basic summary outline what I want to give you through this session. Right? So after that, you can prepare a question paper, sessional question paper using Bloom's taxonomy, map your question paper with COs. By the student marks, you can indirectly assess the particular thing. Okay. So this is the theory examinations as well as internal and external. They will be considered as a direct assessment. I mean, internal evaluation tools. Sessional examinations all are internal evaluation tools. External examinations all are external evaluation tools, final examinations. Then what is a different assessment tool means? That is internal, or we can call it as indirect tool, feedback. You can apply the feedback percentage also in assessing the particular student's knowledge. Because if you give a question on the question paper, which is directly mapping with some CO based on the student marks, what they might get from the answer sheet, you will assess some of the content. This is one assessment, internal assessment, which is a direct. You will directly ask him a question. But indirect means you will give a link to the student in order to write some feedback by giving scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1 to 10, how you wish, or 1 to 3, what you like. You ask, have you get knowledge regarding the CO? If you got very good knowledge regarding the CO, as you have completed the particular course, if you got a very good knowledge, please provide me 3. If you don't have enough knowledge, provide me 2. If you don't know this particular course point at all, I mean 103.1, C103.1, you can give a 1 point, 1 score, because 1 score is complete negative, right? In that way, you can assess the student also, not through the question paper or not through the sessional exam. By indirect feedback also you can assess. Anyhow, as I mentioned in my starting slides, the people, those who are from outside, if they're explaining about your institution as their external members, the society will consider it as a right and fair points. Your institution is good. Similarly, if the performance is on in the external exams is good, that's why we are taking 80% assessment external side and 20% only from internal side. So based on the feedback and based on the internal evaluation, what we got 100%, from that only we are taking 20%. And from the external assessment, we are taking 80% of the content. Okay. This is what we assess the student caliber, right? So this is designed by some academicians. Okay. And we are following this. Somebody might ask, where is the basic that you are following this? Is there any reference? Yes. We gone through one particular research article where we have attracted excellently towards it. And we are following the entire scenario, how the article is writing. Because the article explaining you one thing, you just write the course outcomes, prepare course outcomes based on Bloom's taxonomy, map with given program outcomes, give an essence of your subject, give a range to your subject to the maximum, example 2.42. Try whether the student will get to 2.42 or not by using different formulas like attainments or assessments, indirect feedback or direct examinations, or any rubrics, all these things. This is how we evaluate the student's knowledge indirectly, right? And there is no point that if we evaluate in this method only, that is a fair, okay? Of course, till now, what all the institutions are doing is we are teaching classes, we are putting exams and they are writing, we are giving marks. And if they score good marks, we are considering them as a topper, and those who are getting lower marks, we are considering them as a slow learners. This is the scenario what is happening till now. But that is not a right point. We need to focus to which extent they assess the course outcomes. Because this is how the story is starting. The story have started in the sense of course outcomes. Before teaching a subject, the teacher already highlights about the course outcomes to a student in the class. and to which level, to which extent they are ready to get the particular 2.42 to a complete 100%. This is what we assess in all the calculations of assessments or attainments. Okay, this is a basic knowledge what I want to give you. If I explain all the things, you will get confused, right? Right? That's why when I come to a session which is an offline, I have a board, I have a chalk in my hands, I have a paper, I have a pen. It is very somewhat easy if I show you in a system also. So based on some of the tools, I will show you definitely if I visit your institution. So meanwhile, I want to give the basic content, how the course outcomes are being framed, what is the Bloom's taxonomy is for, and what is the main motto of outcome-based education. This is what I want to give you today. And I'm very thankful if you understand the entire things, how constructively the wall is established, how constructively, how planned content is being executed to the minds of the students in a very great, wise way is nothing but the outcome-based education. And I thank each one of you for listening to this content, for listening to my words. Definitely, this will be very useful to give an excellent education, a great content, knowledge with wisdom to the minds of the students. Thank you so much.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Yes, madam, you are audible, madam.
If anybody want to interact with me, I am ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Geeta Vani, sir. I'm Dr. Geeta Vani from Balaji, Pharmacy, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, according to the syllabus, from second chapter onwards, we will go to the main topics only, like drugs acting on CVS, drugs acting on CNS, like this. Only the introduction part in most of the subjects will be the first chapters.
Yes,
And,
madam. As you said, that is the PCA is not designed in a proper way. Directly in pharmacology 1, they are going with the drugs acting on CNS. In pharmacology 2, they are highlighting cardiovascular system as well as autocoids, drugs acting on endocrine. And in pharmacology 3, they are going for chemotherapy. The syllabus is not designed based on the course outcomes as well as based on the Bloom's taxonomy, higher order as well as lower order thinking. But we as a teachers, we need to make those units, some of the things fall under category 1, lower order thinking, some of the things fall under higher order thinking, because it is not possible for us, even though we are autonomous, the PCA is asking autonomous institutions also to follow the same syllabus. Otherwise, from our institution, we might change the entire content, what you have questioned me.
yes, sir. Is it compulsory, sir, to follow that for first sessional low order and sessional?
Compulsory, madam. If you are evaluating, I mean, if you are assessing the attainment levels, if you are doing all these things, not for the sake of NBA, if you are doing for the sake of your institution, because somebody may come to your institution and ask one day, if you are going for accreditation, whether you are assessing students' performance in the way of program outcomes or course outcomes, this is the formula what we have and we need to follow it. Even though it is not falling under lower order thinking, we need to divide the entire syllabus, the first units under lower order and the next units under higher order. That is mandatory because there is no option if you are going for accreditation.
And one more doubt, sir.
Madam,
actually, previously, when we have done the course outcomes, we have made only 5, like for each chapter, one course outcome we have made. So is it mandatory to go 5? So is it mandatory to go for 6 course outcomes?
Yes, madam. Right question you have asked. This is the question what I get from many institutions. Because we are writing the course outcomes based on the Bloom's taxonomy, right, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As the Bloom's taxonomy consists of 6 verbs, I mean 6 different terminologies, first 3 and second 3. Similarly, based on the Bloom's taxonomy, as they have given 6 terminologies, we are going for 6 course outcomes. This is a straight answer.
So that should cover all the 6.
Then only, or otherwise they may claim that you are missing some terminology either from lower order or higher order.
The last question.
Please, madam.
Actually, you said these program outcomes are given by NBA agency. That is for B.Pharm. So
Yes, yes.
we are MAC is for entire program. So entire that is for B.Pharm, M.Pharm, and family. So there are different program outcomes for B.Pharm, M.Pharm, and family are all over the same given by NBA agencies.
No, madam. NBA had given program outcomes for B pharmacy only
Okay.
because they know the B Pharm syllabus and they have analyzed it. They did not given program outcomes for M pharmacy. And I know about your institution. You have M pharmacy, pharmacy practice, PharmD PB, M pharmacy Sutix, M pharmacy analysis, M pharmacy industrial pharmacy. You need to prepare separate program outcomes for each and every program. For M pharmacy, pharmacy practice, you need to prepare separate program outcomes. That might be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 as per your wish. There is no need that I say they need to be 11 as per NBA that have written for B pharmacy. There are need to be 6 as per Bloom's taxonomy. You can write whatever you wish, either 5 or 6 or 10, whatever you want. But you need to write a very fresh program outcomes for separate programs. I mean, pharmacy practice is a separate program. Pharmaceutics is a separate program. So program wise, you need to write program outcomes.
Okay. Regarding M.Pharm, this is depending on the special departments.
Yes. Specialization, yes.
And what about PharmD, sir?
PharmD also, madam. PharmD is also a separate program. You need to
So
write.
only for B.Pharm, they have given the specific
Yes,
program.
yes, madam.
Thank you very much for your clear information.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, very good one, sir. This is M. Venkateswara, sir, calling from PVKK Institute of Technology. Sir, in your CO, sir, you have written the second CO, C103.2.
Okay,
can you able to understand the importance of prescription and so on, so? So
yes.
Can you show me your COPO articulation matrix, sir? I want to know that how you have, by using this understand verb, how you have mapped to the PO, sir?
Sir, as I have
COPO
prepared
articulation matrix.
Right. Got your question, sir. Actually, I have given my presentation in my personal laptop.
Okay, sir.
And the matrix documents are not there. When I come to your institution, to the Balaji College of Pharmacy, definitely I'll show you all the soft copies.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Your slides are very informative, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, are there any doubts, sir? The session is open for discussion, sir. Please. Yes, I hope there are no doubts for all remaining faculty members. The session will be closing in 5 minutes. Thank you, sir. Thank you for a very informative session on OBE, outcome-based education, sir. Tony, sir. The session was very informative for all our faculty members.
Thank you, Rajavardhan Garu. Thanks to the principal Balaji College of Pharmacy for giving me this opportunity. And I thank everyone, to the management and to the different staff of various colleges who are very attentive throughout the session. And thanks to the faculty who are enthusiastically asking me the questions. And thanks to the madam, I don't know her name exactly.
Geetavani, ma'am, sir.
Geetavani, madam, by asking a perfect questions which may justify the work whatever you are doing in your future. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the people.
Thank you.
Shall I close the session, sir?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Tony, sir.
Thank you. May I leave, Rajavardhan?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.